c'est assez, nous allons gagner la bataille pour retrouver notre liberté. Liberté, 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 liberté. Et j'ai terminé. I just want to quote John F. Kennedy before ending. In the long history of the world, only few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its maximum hour of danger. You are that generation. This is your moment, and now is the time. Yes, now is the And I'm saying to these politicians that were not there the last 2 years, just watch us. We will win. Thank you. International figure.
Dr. Roger Hunt.
38 hours straight to here.
He doesn't even talk about his background, but I'm really going to give it to you. This is a man of international stature, Dr. Paul Alexander, a Canadian citizen who was fired from faculty in Canada for standing up and speaking his mind. He was at the table with Trump and Fauci and Burks. He knows chapter and verse about how Trump was lied to on a regular basis so that this nonsense was introduced by a businessman who didn't know medicine, but who was lied to, and that's how it all started. Dr. Alexander is an evidence-based man with a huge history with the WHO, with Health Canada, in fact, before he was recruited to be part of the task force that Trump put together. He's a wonderful man. He's here to speak to you about something that's called the truth. Long live Canada! Let's give it up for our truckers, Canadian truckers. How are you over there? Look, we have to thank our police. They're dealing with a difficult situation here. So we must give it up to our police. Look, I want to make it as clear as possible to follow Dr. Hodgkinson. It's very difficult. This guy is one of the top pathologists in the world. The COVID pandemic is over. It is time that we declare the pandemic emergency over. It is time. It's done. It's finished. From the very beginning, when we looked at the data, April 2020, that's 2 years almost now, we saw that the lockdowns were going to be catastrophic failures. We saw that if we locked the children down, we would harm them, that we would kill the children. We killed thousands of children in the United States with those lockdowns and school closures. We killed many people with the lockdowns. And we must never ever let that happen again. Never let our governments lock us down this way again, ever.
The problem today is the vaccine mandates. And the reality about it is we have 12 nations in the world right now, including the UK, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, the Nordic nations. They've dropped the mandates, or almost dropped the mandates now. Because why? Because the data shows us clearly that there's no difference between someone who's vaccinated today and an unvaccinated person. The vaccines do not work. They have failed. The reality about it is, for you to stop a trucker at the border because they're unvaccinated has absolutely no scientific or medical basis. None. There is no basis to stop the trucker from coming in because there's no difference in risk. The vaccinated person transmits virus as much as the unvaccinated. So these mandates must be dropped today. Look, I know the reality about it is this began with truckers who felt that this was the right thing to do and this was common sense. And the reality about it is that we decided to stand with the truckers. Hodkinson, myself, Dr. Phillips, Dr. Gill, all of us who are here, Dr. Panes, Dr. Brittle, because we wanted to send a message to the world and to the Canadian government that the Canadian trucker is not on their own. The science is 100% on the side of the Canadian trucker. I also wanted to say today that I stepped inside one of these trucks because I needed to see what was going on here. And what I saw shocked me. I saw inside of one of these trucks, sitting down with a male truck driver, I saw, when I looked back, I saw his wife, and I saw two little children sitting on the bed. I was stunned. I didn't know that was a whole house there. These people move with their home. This is all that they have. They need this to work now. We need to drop mandates now. Look, I want to tell you the data. When we did these lockdowns, what the laptop class, the cafe latte class, the pinky in the air sipping the coffee class, what they didn't understand was that children in America only get their eyes tested in school. When they locked school down, Johnny couldn't even see, but nobody knew that. They didn't know that Johnny got his ears tested in school. They didn't know that millions of American children starved because Johnny and Susie got their only meal in school lunch, the school lunch. People didn't understand how closing schools harmed children, suffered children. They starved while the cafe latte class moved to remote working. I could sit down in the basement and Uber out. They're actually angry now that we are open society because now they can't walk their dog anymore. They can't read the books anymore. They can't go on vacation and water the plants. But Johnny and Susie was getting their only meal in school. So when you locked it down, Johnny and Susie starved. We must never let them do that again, ever. The science is very clear. The science is clear. It is time. It is time to declare the very clear. The science is clear. It is time
to the mayor, the chief of police, the council people, everybody. Flood them with the real information. Flood them with the truth. Because the more this truth gets out there, the better chance of success we have. And don't, by all means, don't make this a waste. These men and these women are putting a lot on the line to bring this information to you. They're being attacked by the College of Physicians and Surgeons and other authority bodies, and they're doing it for you. So now you have to use your voices and your social media and get the truth out there. And the best place to do that is by emails, phone calls, and in the comments section of all these smear articles that you're going to see in the media. Thank you very much.
It's Chris Scott. Did I get him right this time? Yeah. I've been calling him all sorts of names. I'm like, Chris Reb. Thank you, Chris Frank. And he's like, that's not my name. It's Chris. Okay. So I would like to introduce to you a fine gentleman, former member of the OPP. You know me. He's been on our side behind the scenes, helping us with security and helping us keep things rolling and peaceful. And so thank you, everybody. We need insiders like this gentleman, and he has some words of wisdom to share with y'all. Please give some love for Vince.
Hello, everybody. You know, you're acting like you haven't seen freedom in 2 years. This is a fun, loving, peaceful group. One more fun and more loving than I have ever seen. I spent 32 years with the Ontario Provincial Police, now retired for 5 years. I don't represent that organization. I now have the freedom to speak on my own behalf. I had taken an oath, as do all police officers, and my oath, the oath in Ontario, is the same for all, including the Chief of Police. We take an oath to the Constitution. And most police officers that I speak to are not aware that there's a Constitution Act. And I'll get back to that in a second. In addition to taking an oath, we did it with our hand on the Bible. And we swore to God that we would uphold that oath. What we have experienced in the last year and a half, ever since we knew that the information was false, that we could do the mathematics and the homework and know that this is deceptive lies. What we've discovered is that this is one of the world's largest integrity tests. So regardless of the vaccine, so-called vaccine, or the so-called virus, it's an integrity test. It's a test for all of us. And everyone here has passed that test. That's why you're here. Unfortunately, many of our institutions have failed us in a big way. And I won't describe who and what they are, but you understand that, including the leadership within the police organizations. Very much so. When these organizations arrest pastors, arrest politicians, and I myself have been arrested for speaking on a stage like I'm speaking now in this country, speaking about the importance of our rights, our charter, our God-given rights, our inalienable rights, the Universal Declaration of Rights, that have all been ignored as a result of failing this integrity test. Now, police officers are issued quite a bit of equipment. You can see it on them when you meet them on the streets, lots of equipment. Well, the greatest piece of equipment that these officers have is under the Constitution Act, Section 52. And that says that the Constitution of Canada is the supreme law of the land. And your Charter of Rights are embedded in that Constitution. And it says that any law that is created that is in conflict with the Constitution Act is null and void, has no authority. And that is the weapon, that is the defensive mechanism, the protective mechanism that all police officers have. Quote the Constitution Act, Section 52. This is a violation of it. We're not doing it. Simple as that. Now, I have a special thing in my heart for truckers because I spent a lot of time on the highway, and the truckers have saved my life many times. They have come to my aid many, many times.
Woo!
So I really, really appreciate these truckers. And what these truckers have done is what our police agencies have failed to do and could have done a year ago. Now, all of our rights have been taken away, one by one, except one, the right to peaceful protest. And I have seen nothing here but peace, love, kindness. And the chief of this city has acknowledged in the beginning phase that there were no problems. There's no violence. There's no problem here with this group. This is a wonderful group. And then all of a sudden we've seen he has changed direction 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Now, it's everybody's desire to be free. And that's what keeps us all going. All of us. And that right is a God-given right. The awakening has begun. Now, each and every one of you are here because you have chosen to come here. Nobody pushed you to come here. You weren't forced to come here. You weren't dragged to come here. Same with these truckers. They all found their way here on their own. And it'll be their decision when they leave.
Yep.
Thank you all for supporting this. We will continue until we have our answer. And it'll have to be what these truckers want. We all agree with that. Thank you. God bless.